The project for the rebuilding the St Kilda Pier was undertaken in 2004 and 5 from memory. It was in response to the original pier being burnt down by a serial arsonist, and so the project was managed through Parks Victoria, and the documentation was carried out through Lovell Chen Heritage Architects, and it was very specific in its brief to recreate a replica of the original St Kilda Pier Kiosk, and the specifications were particularly descriptive about the size and the shape and the profiles of the timbers, matching exactly the original profiles provided or in the original construction documentation. So it was one of those jobs from day one where the supply of timber and the availability of timbers was probably going to be the key to the success of the project.
Howard McCorkell rang me up and asked me to be involved with some of the materials, the timbers, special timbers, and also special machining. And you know, when I looked into it, it was certainly one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do. The environment out here is very harsh, and we had to have timbers that we knew that could stand that sort of environment. And a lot of the timbers of today, even though they might have the durability, they probably wouldn't have had the stability that we wanted. So therefore we had to look at recycled timber, those teardrop weatherboards out there. They're produced out of 300 by 75 iron bark beams that came out of a Catholic girls' college in Brisbane that was built in 1889.
So the specification was a challenging component, which really ruled out a lot of recently milled timbers. The scalloped weatherboards were Jeff's probably touched on before, were a real challenge. They were all routed, using jigs rather than computerised routing. The other challenges resolved around. I think initially a lot of the external timbers were specced up in a pine or an Oregon species, which was corrected following the recommendations of Bowens to use more of a Class 1 durability timber. And I think the quality of the product that's still there today is probably a testament to that was the right decision.
Bullnose roof, the challenges there were to get the geometry right. The rafters, curved rafters, had to match that curve, and you don't get timber that curves like that. So it had to be specially laminated, and again that was out of Oregon. And the challenges with the Oregon was that the timber was specified to be a certain moisture content. Oregon today is milled at a much higher moisture content, hasn't got the stability, and so we used recycled timber. I had to source some of the big Oregon beams from a timber merchant I knew in Adelaide, bone timber, and they had some old flitches there which were good quality, and I bought them and we shipped them all the way across from Adelaide. The flagpole up the top there, I went to a timber yard down at Geelong who have got big Oregon flitches, and I picked out a flitch especially for that flagpole to suit the job. The major jetty timbers around the front, they're all supplied by us because they were destroyed in the fire. The other challenges, I suppose, was the square edge spotted gum weatherboards. They're spotted gum, and when you're making a profile like that where you're cutting it on a severe taper, you expose different moisture gradients in the timber, and if you're not careful you'll get severe cupping. So we did it gradually, where I got the machinist to do a little bit, let it acclimatise for a week or two, then we did the rest till the final profile. It hasn't moved, it's in great condition. The machinist that virtually was involved with every product, except for the jetty timbers and that. Even he did the handrail, the shaping of the handrail. There's a fella called Tom Rosso, and I want to make special mention of Tom because he did all that scalloping of the weatherboards and also the square edge ones that had to be carefully machined. And all those Simon moulds, he did all those. So, and he is probably the best machinist I've ever come across in my days of being in the industry. Best test for a timber product is time. Can it stand the test of time? It's got to be able to do that on a long-term basis. Hopefully that structure might be still up in another 50, 100 years' time. And then people can marvel at it like I am today. Fantastic, yeah.